Following agreement entered by the Nigerian government and the Republic of China to promote tourism, a coalition of various organizations and stakeholders in the tourism sector have called on Nigeria's government to ensure accountability, transparency, and strategic oversight in the execution of the project, highlighted on the MOU signed by the Chinese. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the Nigeria's capital, the Executive Director of Tourism Volunteers Network, Phil Roberts, advised the Nigerian government to use the funds collected from the Chinese government for developmental projects as well as to grow tourism in Nigeria, as half measure is unacceptable to citizens.
The Executive Director, Tourism Volunteers Network, Phil Roberts, said the agreement reached through the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation in Beijing are not merely transactions between nations, hence the need for the federal government to channel the loan collected from Chinese to digital infrastructure and other projects needed to unlock the potentials of millions of Nigerians and tourism industry.
You cannot promote tourism without having infrastructure. And some of if you look at the MOU signed by Mr. President, the loan collected, one of the major things in that MOU is infrastructure, agriculture, telecommunication, and all that. So if all of those things are put in place, tourism is gonna thrive. So we came out with this initiative to see how we can not just sit back, we can be watchdogs in making sure that that fund that has been collected is used for the purpose. Now, during our investigation, while I was still in China, all these things you see we are doing here was arranged while I was still in China. We found out that Nigeria has been collecting money from these Chinese, which you know. But at the end of the day, we don't see what those money are being used for. So when they come back to Nigeria, we don't know whether they share the money or whatever. So we now decided that since we were part of the people that witnessed when Mr. President collected this money, and we are tourism advocates in Nigeria, and one of the challenges we've been having in Nigeria from our research and all that is that we found out that tourism has not been able to grow because of infrastructural development. So we decided that we want to follow how this money is being spent to make sure that infrastructure is in place so that tourism can now thrive.
The coalition of various organizations with interest in tourism development expressed readiness to make Nigeria more attractive to Chinese.
We have enough on ground as it is to make Nigeria attractive to anybody, to any country. Our culture right now is what? Our food, our fashion, our music, our traditions. Those are the things that we can build off initially. We need to stop devaluing our country, as it's been said. You go on Twitter every day and we hear all the negative stories of Nigeria.
Every Nigerian must wake up to holding government and those who have been given the responsibility to manage those resources accountable. Accountability is the watchword. Transparency in in dispensing these resources must be taken into cognizance.
Talking about infrastructure, we are very much aware of, although this government is trying, of the dilapidated nature of some of our roads, and the railways. So there's need for improvement. And the good news is that the Chinese has been involved in the development of the Nigerian railways and others. So there's need for modern technology introduction through some of these funds.
The coalition therefore reiterated its commitment to ensure that Nigeria emerges stronger, more prosperous and fully accountable in this new chapter of development. Imefonokon reporting for Clever News.